Text manipulation, Excel. They don't get along very well. But in this particular example, I'm going to show you how to join first and last name in a couple different ways. It's straightforward, it's simple, and it's fast. Stay tuned. Brad Williams, Excel Prime. Section 10.8, how to join first and last name. As we've talked about the word concatenate, there's another way to join information. This is using a simple formula in the AND feature. Here we want to add the first name to the last name to have a full name. Simply enter the first name, CD, C5, the AND sign, the quote with a space. So you want a space between names, and with an AND sign, and then a D5. It's that simple. We want to convert numbers to text. We have a column of numbers. We have a simple 1, 2, 3, a number that goes out to 67,732, a fraction, time, a serial number. We have a date, and we have another date that is represented by today. And then we have another today, which is wrong. So what we want to do is go 7/17/21, 9 a.m. We just have 15%. The column represents numbers, and what we want to do is we want some output, and we want to change those to text. You can't just simply type over and modify these and say text. You can copy these over and then go up to the number bar and hit text, but you won't be able to do any modifications. There's another function available to convert numbers to text, and that is the text function. Let's go up to the formulas. Let's go to text. Let's go to text. Here we have a text function, and it converts a value to text in a specific number format. Value is a number or formula that evaluates to numeric value or a reference to a cell containing a numeric value. And what are the requirements? We have a value and we have a format. Now we have to put it in a format, and the best way to understand how formats work, we'll take a peek at the custom function. What we want to do is hit Control-1 on the keyboard, go to custom. Here are some custom functions. At the top, these are number functions. If you want to change a color, a certain numeric function to end up as red, or if you want to add dollar signs permanently, if you want negative numbers, you can incorporate that. If you want a percentage as just 0 with no decimals, or 2 decimals, or looks like this is exponential. You can change this as you like. Now, clearly you want to use some look at what you're trying to convert. And if you're looking at 315 and you want that to turn out to look like 315 in text, and what that represents is military time. So the first 12 hours would be represented by 1 through 12. And then the next 12 hours is 12 plus 1 for each hour. So 1515 represents 12 plus, and 3 o'clock is 3. 12 plus 3 is 15, and we have 15 minutes, 1515. If we want this to look a little different, we go back to Control-1, go to Custom. Let's just go to the month date area. Let's see if we can get this thing to change. And the only way to get it to change is we have to steal the format. What I mean steal? That means we have to grab this custom series and then we add it to our text function. Remember, if you go up here to the text function, what are the arguments? We have a value and we have a format text. And that format text, we just put in 0. All we want is C5 and nothing else. Here we have 67632, but we want a dollar sign and we want a comma. And the way to do that, and you want to start this off with a quote and then dollar sign, and we went out, all we want is comma, and then whatever numbers follow thereafter. Here we want 0.34, 0.34%. In text format, so we got 3:15, hour, minute. We can change the date, month, date to, we want this to look a little different. We go month, day, and year. And we have July 17th, and you think, well, that looks like crap. Well, if you want to change it, just remove the slashes and just put a space. So there, you just put a space, July 17th, remove the space. And you're asking, well, I want July 17th with a comma, and then I want 2022. Add a D, add another D, add another M, add two Y's, add a comma. Now you have Sunday, July, Sunday, 2022. And you're saying, well, what happened? Well, we have month, day, year. What's the maximum number of days in a month? Well, 31. What we see here is an attempt to increase it up to 100 plus in the day. The DDD means for days, and that's why it's kicking in that Sunday error. Be sure to remember there's only 31 days, so the maximum would be DD. And now we have July 17th, 2022. You can play around, experiment with this as much as you want. You want to add text to the date. So here we have sales beginning Sunday, July 17th. Well, the way you can do that, we know there's a number on the left. We're going to convert this whole string in D10 into text. And the way you do that is you start off with a quote, and then you can type in whatever you want. But remember, when we want to convert a number over to text, we have to concatenate. So we start off with, we close off this text here, sales begin, and we close that off. Remember, there's a space there. We concatenate and text. That means we're adding from this point on, we're adding whatever is in C10. And that is 7, 12, 22. In order for that to show up, we have to represent within this structure, we have to note C10, and then we have to format. And we just put day, month, day. And then the end result is sales begin on July 19th. Here below we have register 7/17/2021. What's the difference? Well, we have a time. In order to add time, you're going to need to know the time format. If you don't understand the time format, go back to the customs, hit C1, hit Control 1, and look at the format and experiment. And lastly, we have a percentage sign. Be sure to check out our extensive courses, which include Excel data and text manipulation for advanced users, beginners, intermediate. We also have this great essentials, the A to Z for advanced users, the comprehensive beginner level 1 and 2. Then we have our advanced formulas, strictly formulas, great set of courses, which we have a beginner level 1 and beginner level 2, this intermediate level, and we have this advanced level. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out. And the trick here, remember, we have quote, end quote, the concatenate. You can add an additional text after the first concatenate, and then you have to concatenate again if you add discount. What's the concatenate? That's the dollar sign. And here, you're just saying get a, whatever's in, whatever we convert in the text format, and then we're going to add more text. And lastly, you can pad text length. What does that mean? You have to write out checks. And we'll just pretend Maly is a dollar sign. Let's just say this is a check and it's in the amount of $1.55. And you have a whole length of the check that could be blank. You can fill that in by using what's called the repeat function and the length function. What we want is a fixed length based on the number of characters already within the string. So what we're doing here is look at the formula. We have a repeat, and then we have 12 minus length C5. And what does that mean? That means we're going to look at this length. We can't go any further than 12 repeats, maximum 12. And the way it's calculated is simply 12 minus the length. If you count this, you'll have Maly and probably 7 asterisks. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the max string. You can always change that. How does it work? Well, the repeat function, if we go up here and we just look at repeat, it's going to say text. That means whatever you want to insert and the number of times. So we go to C5, which is Maly, and then we're going to repeat however many asterisks minus Maly up to 12. Now, if you look here across the C9, you're going to see a long name. Yasman. Yasman. Well, how many characters is that? It's more than 12. This function says the maximum number of characters is 12. So it throws an error. You can fix this by using the if error function, or you can go, well, let's get rid of a few n's. And so we know now Yasman is 12 characters. Why? Because it just filled the entire string with this function. Let's go back to Yasman. Let's delete one man. And there you go. We just fulfilled that order. If you use this function and you put in 12 and your first name is longer than 12 and you get an error, now you know how to fix it.
Brad Williams, XL Prime. Thanks for watching.